You and I both know flight simmers are always looking for more realism. After all, that's what flight simming is, trying to get as realistic as possible without getting into the real thing. That's why we spend thousands of dollars on the appropriate flight stick, monitors that better show the world that we're trying to look at, better PCs even, so your graphics look better, which is more realistic. But one thing that's overlooked by some communities, not the DCS community, but X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Sim, things like that, is eye and head tracking. Enter the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Tobii is a wonderful company that reached out to me. They wanted to work together to show you guys this product. And since I have friends that own Tobiis and I wanted to get into DCS recently, more on that later, of course I was ecstatic. But before we get into the review slash the testing, trying out the eye tracker, I want you guys to know every opinion in this video is mine. I am not getting paid to give a good review. Tobii does not get to see this video before I post it. And in addition, this is probably the only sponsored video you've ever seen on this channel. That's because I'm very, very particular with any sponsors I take. I don't want to misguide you guys or give you false information. I want everything on my channel to help you guys in some way, shape, or form beyond just entertainment. So that being said, let's get into this thing. After you unbox the eye tracker, you'll see that it's this super sleek metal bar. It will fit with any setup. I'll overlay some of me attaching it to my monitor. It is incredibly easy. There's two attachment methods. One is this little plastic bracket that comes with it, but the option I chose is a little magnet that has a little bit of adhesive on the back of it. You put it on your monitor, you snap the Tobii right into that, and it is incredibly clean. If you value having a clean setup, obviously my cable management is terrible, but I like to think my setup looks pretty good and I want everything to look clean and cohesive, then this is definitely the right thing. It fits like it's part of my monitor. I absolutely love that fact. Once you download the software, plug in your Tobii, it will have a little thing that says eye tracker is not set up for this monitor. You just click the button right there. It is so easy to set this thing up. That's another positive. The software is actually nice. A lot of times you buy a product, the product's good, but the software that is paired with it is horrendous and it makes it impossible to use. But this software is super easy to set up, and especially for Microsoft Flight Sim, the actual settings and what kind of preferences you have for the actual eye and head tracking is in the simulator, so you don't have to go back to the app, back to the simulator, back to the app, which can definitely be annoying. And here are those settings in the simulator. All you have to do is go to your control options like you would to mess with your rudder pedals or anything else that you have plugged in. You'll have Tobii show up right here on the right. You're gonna click that, you're gonna click sensitivity, and now we have all our settings for sensitivity of head movement, eye movement, how much it tracks it, all that kind of stuff. I turned everything on for the sake of showing you guys first. We'll get in a plane, and then I'll show you the settings that I actually use if you want to try copying them yourself, but obviously it's all preference. You do what you like. So here we are in a C-160. We're in Dubai. As you can see, it is very nicely tracking my head, absolutely no issues. The delay is very minimal. One really cool thing about this, beyond just the eye tracking, as you see when I turn my eyes, it looks around for me, is the head tracking. So not only can I turn my head to look faster, I can actually lean forward and see things. If I go down, it goes down. Sorry, my mic probably sounded bad there. If I go to the right, it goes to the right. It even rolls. Look at that. Is there anything like that you've ever seen? That's pretty cool. Adds a whole new layer to the sim that you've probably never felt. As you can see, I can look at the iPad here. I can look at settings closer. I can do anything I like. One nice thing about this is, there I just used the button to turn it off for a second. What I had been doing for the longest time is setting a little hat switch to look around, which you can do, and that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it has one constant speed. So if you want to look left or right fast, you can. So here's the hat switch. If I want to look left and right, that's as fast as I can do it. Now I'll turn the eye tracker back on, 3, 2, 1. Eye tracker's on, right, left, down. Go look at the throttles, go look at some gauges. Anything I want is kind of at the tips of your fingers versus using a hat switch or any other way you accomplish that. Now let's take off here and you guys can get a kind of idea of how this feels. Super cool because if you need to glance at something for a split second, which I find myself doing a lot, like right there, you can do it. And with the hat switch or most other ways, it doesn't work quite as well. Here we go. We're trying to take off at Dubai skydive place in a C-160. And we somehow did that. I don't really know how. But as you can see, there's the Dubai skyline. Super cool. There's the Burj Al Arab up there. Zoom in a little bit. Super nice. And another cool thing, you can do it from outside the plane. So if you're outside, you want to look around, you want to see the scenery. Microsoft Flight Sim is a beautiful game, of course. You can do that as well. But really where this thing shines is in the cockpit, being able to look at anything on a whim. And to showcase just how accurate this thing is and how sensitive it is, if I cover one eye, you can see that it still tracks my other eye. I'll hold my other hand up so you can tell I'm not doing anything. This is one eye tracking, not moving my head at all, just tracking my left eye, and then right eye, same thing. It can just track my right eye. Obviously, you guys can't see that as well from the camera angle. It is uncanny. It's a little bit weird. It definitely takes some getting used to, so give it a shot if you buy it, but it is definitely a whole different level of immersion. And now I'm going to switch over to the settings that I use on like a day-to-day basis. Here they are on screen for you guys if you want to screenshot this or go through in your sim and do the same ones. I turn off the eye tracking. I find it steadier and a little bit more simple to use with just head tracking. That way I have a habit of looking straight ahead and using my eyes to look around. And I think that's from never using an eye tracker or head tracker before, is that I just want to keep my eyes straight because normally you can't change where you're looking, and then look around with my head if I need to. So that's kind of what I do. I turn on head tracking only, and it's pretty sensitive. So if I want to look, I deliberately look. I'm not going to accidentally just use my eyes to look one direction or another. I think also that is due to me having 3 monitors. So I am constantly looking at other monitors. So if I look at my top monitor, you can see it moves up a little bit, but not much. If I'd have my eye tracker on as well, it would look up a lot, and then that causes, you know, it's a little bit less smooth, less simple to use when it's moving with every little thing. Obviously, you can turn the sensitivity down for your eyes, so it doesn't do that as much, but I do enjoy just having it on head tracking. And when we switch over to DCS, I'll show you guys why I do that there as well. Now, I don't know how easy it is to see how sensitive this thing is, but I just put a bubble on screen so you guys can see exactly where I'm looking, and it is impressive. So I'm looking at that little knob right there. I'm gonna look at the iPad in 3, 2, 1. It is uncanny how fast and accurate this thing is. I'll look at my compass in the top left, 3, 2, 1, compass. It's a weird feeling that definitely takes some getting used to, but this thing is incredibly accurate. Now, in good conscience, I can't do a review without talking about how much this thing costs. Right now, it is $280, but you can get it for 20% off with the link in the description. Now, that's a lot of money. $280 is a lot of money. It's more than a lot of flight sticks and throttle combos. It's more than a honeycomb yoke. It's more than a lot of things. If you don't have the flight stick you want, if you don't have the throttle quadrant you want, the rudder pedals you want, things like that, you want a better PC part, a better GPU so you get better frames, I would suggest doing those things first. That's just my honest opinion. Unless something that I'll mention later, you'll see. So here we are at Lukla in a Cessna 152. I figured we did a takeoff. We have to do at least a semi-difficult landing for this video to count. So let's see how this one goes. So here we are on approach at Lukla, flying at almost 10,000 feet in this 152. We're at full throttle, so we don't stall here. And there's a plane coming right towards me. I think he stalled and fell off the cliff. Let's see if we can do a better job. Go. There's idle, and there's touchdown at 200 feet per minute. Hey, I can deal with 200 feet per minute at Lukla. And here we are in DCS in an F-15C with the Tobii eye tracker enabled. Now this is what's really fun with the eye tracker. Again, for this game, I only have head tracking enabled. I do not have the eye tracking. I find that it makes it a little bit easier. Here's a Su-27 we are trying to kill here in a dogfight. And as I mentioned earlier, is this plane worth it for Microsoft Flight Sim alone? Well, that is kind of up to you. For me, as a content creator, probably. For you, unless you have money just to throw at it, I would say your money is probably better spent spending it on some part of your setup that you don't have yet. Because although eye tracking is very cool, I'm so slow, I'm gonna get killed by this guy. Although eye tracking is very cool, it's not a necessary thing for Microsoft Flight Sim. Now, let's see if I can get a lock on him here. There we go. Let's see if I can shoot him as well. No hits, no way. I'm very bad at DCS if you can't tell. For Microsoft Flight Sim, it is not a necessity. I can't speak. For DCS, it most definitely is. So if you're planning on playing other sims such as DCS, then I would say it is 100% worth it. For me, it is 110% worth it because I do not want something on my face like trackir, and I can't use VR because, first of all, it's a lot harder on your PC, but I can't read chat and stuff while I'm streaming, and recording like that would also not be nice for the viewers. So if you're playing DCS and Microsoft Flight Sim, go for it. Or if you have your full Flight Sim setup and you're just looking for something to be a little more immersive, absolutely go for it. There's a lock again. Splash one, goodness gracious. SU-27 down, Tobii eye tracker involved. I'm terrible at this game. I'm sorry for the horrible gameplay. I've been trying to get better at it. So again, if you have any tips and suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. Tobii eye tracker, I've really enjoyed messing around with it. You guys who watch me on stream know that I've begun playing DCS because of the Tobii eye tracker. I wasn't gonna buy trackir, and I wasn't gonna mess around with VR. So if you think the money for it is worth it to you, again, as I said, if it's just Microsoft Flight Sim and there's some other hardware you want, I would say hold off. If you have everything you want for Microsoft Flight Sim and you just want a little more immersion, absolutely go for it. But again, if you play DCS or anything like that, it's definitely worth it. I prefer it over the other options, and I'm sure some people don't. But that's life, isn't it? But thank you again, Tobii, for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Again, all the opinions are my own. You guys have heard me talk about this on stream, other places a million times. You know this is how I actually feel about Tobii. If you'd like to buy it, there's links in the description. Also, if you'd like to win one, there's a sweepstakes going on. Check the description for that as well. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a little clip from Tobii. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.